Hi everyone, it's Carolyn from Mommy Ramblings, and I'm here with a premiere of a very sad story about a missing teen in Nevada, Gabrielle Britney Ujlaky, and we have talked about this case in two of our recent lives. One of the live broadcasts, ended with where they were looking for whoever might have committed this murder. And in the very next one, we knew who it was, and it was quite shocking. So I decided, since I had already started making this premiere prior to learning who did this, or allegedly did this, as everyone is innocent until proven guilty, I decided to put it all together and do a premiere. So I hope that those of you that are not familiar with this case get familiar with this case, because it is really scary how it shows us we really don't know the people that we think we know, or our children especially don't know who they're truly with in some cases. And that's terrifying, as you'll hear in this story, which is a true story, unfortunately. I want to also welcome anyone that has not subscribed or ever watched our channel before to please subscribe and click the notifications bell so you'll be notified anytime we upload or have a live broadcast, which we have most every night. And our live broadcasts are just chock full of stuff, from cases to chat about what's going on in the world to necessary humor and crafts, and we have a great time here, and we'd love you to be part of our community. But right now, let's look at this case. Gabrielle Britney Ujlaky, who went missing on March 8th in front of her high school, and she was dropped off there by a friend that she met at the rodeo. She loved the rodeo. She dreamed of winning the title of rodeo queen. And Bryce Dickey was a 18-year-old that she met, at the rodeo. And he was the one to last see her on March 8th. But you're going to hear now that his story was completely fabricated. And that's what makes this, really mind-blowing. So let's take a look and get into what's going on here. Gabrielle Britney Lynn Ujlaky was a beautiful 16-year-old girl who lived in Nevada. On Sunday, March 8th, she went to church and then was hanging out with a friend who she met at the rodeo. That was Bryce Dickey, the 18-year-old she considered like a big brother. And it was Bryce who told the Elko County Sheriff's Office that he dropped Britney off in front of her high school, Spring Creek High School, at around 4 p.m. And he told them that he saw her hop into a late model green Ford F-150 pickup truck and drive off. He said the driver of the truck was a white male, late teens, early 20s, wearing a cowboy hat. Problem is, nobody knew who this driver could be. She never mentioned anyone like that to anyone. So people were puzzled. And by the evening of March 8th, Britney's mom was frantic. And she wrote a post on Facebook that conveyed that. It was a desperate plea. My daughter is missing. Police have been notified. Please, please, share. However, on 3 days later, on March 11th, the worst news ever for Britney's parents and for the community, because Britney's body was found in the Burner Basin area of Spring Creek, near the city of Elko. And this past Monday, the Elko County Sheriff's Office said her death was being investigated as a homicide. But who could have done this? Who was the driver of that truck? In a press release from the Elko County Sheriff's Office, it said, while investigators have been working around the clock following up on leads and tips, a suspect has not been identified. It is important the public understands investigators are working their way through a voluminous quantity of tips and information which takes time. It is unclear if Britney knew the driver of the truck, but the sheriff's office said there has been no information to indicate danger to the public. The time of her disappearance, Britney was dressed in a gray hooded sweatshirt and blue jeans. The sheriff's office started a tip line to collect leads and tips for any information leading to Britney's disappearance. Her good friend, Cheyenne Fry, 18, said Britney picked flowers for friends if they'd had a bad day. She loved listening to any music she could dance to, and she dreamed of becoming a makeup artist. In a rural Nevada community, this 16-year-old teen girl volunteered at the 2U Ranch, riding and grooming horses and helping with cattle drives. She had the personality you can't really forget. She was so goofy and fun, Cheyenne said. You would be having the worst day of your life, but her laugh would put you in a good mood. Britney often talked about wanting to someday win the title of local rodeo queen, Cheyenne said. She was always helping people out. If it was house sitting, babysitting, grooming their horses, everyone knew her and loved her so much. The loss has devastated Britney's family, and they're seeking answers on what could have happened to their daughter. They say for certain Britney was not trying to run away from home. Britney's cousin, who was very close to her, Leslie Tolhurst Grayson, said she adored her family and friends and blended so well with others. She's also close to her mom, Alicia. And Leslie went on to say that when Britney went missing, it was looked at as if she was a runaway. But we all know she would never run away from her family. On Tuesday, in the hours before a candlelight vigil, Britney's family shared her obituary. She loved to ride and did so as often as possible, the memorial read. Britney was most happy when participating in some sort of cowgirl work at the 2U Ranch. She was always the first one saddled and ready to go. Now, Britney was born Gabrielle Lynn Ujlaky, but when her parents took her home, they felt she was more of a Britney. Her cousin said everyone had a nickname for her: Brit, Brit, Goose, or Woman Bear. Police have released very little information on Britney's last movements. In her mother's social media post seeking help, she indicated that Britney's phone last pinged at 5:30 p.m. on Boyd Kennedy Road near the high school. A missing persons flyer shared by relatives and supporters said that the F-150 truck that Britney got into was an older late model truck from the early 2000s. The driver again was described as a white male wearing a cowboy hat in his late teens or early 20s. Another flyer said that he went by the name of JT and added, "She was found deceased and alone. We need to find this JT. He could be anywhere." It's unclear who the man was or how Britney knew him. Now we know he never even existed. He was all someone that Bryce made up in order to deflect from himself. Cheyenne said she last spoke to Britney hours before she went missing. The friends spoke to each other every day and they FaceTimed all the time. They would go to the gym together on Sundays. Cheyenne said that Britney called her and asked her if she wanted to go to the gym. Cheyenne told Britney to give her about an hour. That call came after 1 p.m., around 1 p.m., after she'd gotten out of church. At the time of the call, Cheyenne said Britney was hanging out with a mutual friend. Within a few hours, that mutual friend dropped Britney off at the high school. Britney said her dad was picking her up. I wish she would have said something to me about this guy," Cheyenne said of the mystery driver. "She said this is one of her new friends. I wish I had more answers, but I don't." Another friend, Bryn Wilson, said she texted Britney around 4:37 p.m. on the day she vanished, asking if she wanted to come over for pizza. But Bryn Wilson never heard back and knew something was amiss when she later tried her, and Britney's phone went straight to voicemail. Bryn said she would never let her phone die or be without it. Bryn often went horseback riding with Britney. They'd cover miles with no destination and joke about all the crazy stuff they did. "She was the kindest soul I knew. She looked up to me. Every day she would always check up on me." Now, on Bryce's public Facebook page, one can see these posts that are so troubling. He shared a post when Britney was found, saying, "Update, Britney has been located now. Unfortunately, she will not be here with us. I just want to let everyone know there will be a fund option for the family." He shared that post from Angelia Booth on his own Facebook page. But that's not all. He mourned her loss publicly on the Facebook page. He helped with the search to find her. Now, we've seen stuff like this where Jodi Arias was trying to help Detective Flores for anything leading up to who killed Travis Alexander when she was the real killer. We've seen it with Joseph McGowan in little Joan D'Alessandro's murder when he joined the search party. It's very typical that these murderers, alleged murderers, will join up with search parties, will express an interest in helping in order to deflect from themselves being a part of this. And we see that on Bryce's Facebook page with this post and an even more troubling one. This next post, March 13th, says, "Yesterday, we all received news that made us hit the floor. Around 8 in the morning, we all started meeting up at my house to grieve and to mourn Britney's life, which was taken far too soon. That day, I had tears of pain and joy. I wish she could have seen the amount of us that came together to honor you, sis. We love you so much. Just know you won't ever be forgotten. Also, thank you to everyone at Mully's who were so understanding and helpful to us. We appreciate you." That would be 6 days before he would be arrested for her murder. Cheyenne said Britney often put others before herself. She wasn't afraid to go do things, to talk to someone. She had no fear. She was one of the most fearless girls I've ever met. Despite her loving demeanor, Britney was also dealing with online bullies, whom she said eventually she had to block on Snapchat. She got bullied. Every teenager goes through that. That's what made our friendship so strong. We were always there, standing up for each other. Cheyenne said she hopes that justice is served sooner than later. You just want to ask yourself why. Why did it have to be her? She told a media publication. Why now? Why so young? And you won't get those answers because no one really knows. For me, it's been hard. I still haven't fully accepted it. That my best friend is gone. Now, here is the twist, because the Elko County Sheriff's Office had a press release on Friday, March 20th, that said Bryce Dickey arrested in the murder of Gabrielle Britney Lynn Ujlaky, Elko, Nevada, March 2020. On March 19, 2020, at 14:05, investigators with the Elko County Sheriff's Office arrested Bryce Dickey, 18 years of age, of Spring Creek, Nevada, on one count of open murder in the homicide of Gabrielle Britney Lynn Ujlaky. A report was made regarding the missing juvenile, Gabrielle Britney Ujlaky. Britney's body was later located and recovered in the Burner Basin area of Elko County. The incident was investigated as a homicide by the task force led by the Elko County Sheriff's Office. The investigation led to the arrest of Dickey on March 19, 2020. Investigators continue to conduct follow-up in the case, which remains active. At this time, the tip line has been closed. The Elko County Sheriff's Office is grateful for the dedication of the investigators who brought this case to the point an arrest could be made. Additional information will be provided as it develops. Britney's father said, "There's no worse betrayal than this," because she really thought he was a good friend. Police have not detailed how Britney was killed, but said detectives were still actively investigating this. Before a vigil, Britney's obituary was read. From the obituary it said, "She loved to ride and did so as often as possible. Britney was most happy when participating in some sort of cowgirl work. She had the perfect mixture of a loving, kind heart and a spicy salsa soul. She loved to ride and did so as often as possible. Britney was most happy when participating in some sort of cowgirl work." Cheyenne said, "It crushes me that he acted like her friend and she talked to me about him like he was her friend. She called him her big brother." So that's what we have to this point. We will definitely be following up on this case and, seeking justice as for all victims here. But for Britney Ujlaky and her family and friends, we offer them our deep felt sympathy, prayers, and as they deal with this unimaginable tragedy here, and to have it come in this twist with someone that had searched for her and mourned with her, and that they, cried with and expressed their grief to, and all the while now he's arrested for her homicide. It's just another blow of epic proportions for this family and friends of this young girl whose life had only begun. Rest in peace, Britney, and prayers to your family and friends. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Be kind, stay well, and as I said, we'll follow up more on this story. But until then, take care. God bless.